Welcome to this eighth session on word roots. And again, in this session, also, we will take a look at a few word roots and some common words which are associated with these roots. Let's first have a look at the first root. The first root is bell. It is a Latin root which stands for the word war. So, bell means something related to war. So, any word that will have or contain the root bell will have something to do with war or fight. For example, we have the words bellicose and belligerent. Both of them mean very aggressive people. Casus belli, which means the immediate cause of war. Then we have rebellion, which means war against the established government of one's own country. And antebellum, which means before the Great War. So the first word here is bellicose, which means somebody who is ready to fight, who's ready to argue with people, and who is generally very aggressive. So sentences with the word bellicose could be he was disliked by all because of his bellicose nature. Obviously, an extremely aggressive person will be disliked. So he was disliked by all because of his bellicose nature. The previous president had a bellicose tone. He did not like to make any compromises. So the previous president was ready to argue, he was ready to pick a fight. Most immigrants disliked Donald's bellicose nativism. So, nativism is nothing but giving more and more importance to people from one's own country. That is nativism. Then we have the word belligerent. So, belligerent means hostile or combative. Once again, ready to fight, ready to argue. These are quite similar words, bellicose and belligerent, really. Some people become belligerent after consuming alcohol. Resorting to belligerent rhetoric again and again will not help the peace process between two countries. So, if you want the peace process to prevail or to continue, you cannot have you cannot resort to belligerent rhetoric again and again. It is futile to explain a different point of view to belligerent people. Then we have casus belli. So, casus belli is something that justifies a war, an immediate cause of a war. The destruction of Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in USA provided a casus belli for the war against terrorism. The casus belli for war against ISIS was the numerous attacks carried out by ISIS on innocent people. Obliteration of the LTTE. The casus belli for obliteration of LTTE was the continued armed conflict and the situation of civil war in Sri Lanka. So, casus belli, something that justifies a war. Antebellum means before the Great War. Next, we have the root crypt, which is Greek in its origin and it means hidden. So, any word that contains the root crypt will have something to do with something that is hidden. For example, here are some words encrypt, which means to code a message or to encode a message. Decrypt means to decode some message. Cryptogram is a written symbol or a code. So, if you've read any of the Dan Brown novels, especially Angels and Demons, or any similar novels, you will find a lot of cryptograms mentioned in the novels. Cryptology is concerned with solving of codes. So usually, some mathematics is used to solve cryptograms, and this mathematics is commonly referred to as cryptology. So cryptology concerned with solving of codes, usually the mathematics of solving codes. Cryptography, the art of writing and solving codes. So cryptography involves both writing of codes and solving of codes, whereas cryptology is only concerned with the mathematics of solving codes. Cryptanalysis, it is the process of decoding coded codes or even coded messages, cryptanalysis. And both cryptography and cryptanalysis has been used a lot in the history. Next, we have the word cryptic. So, cryptic is something mysterious, something that is difficult to understand. A cryptic clue, for example. A cryptic clue is a clue which is difficult to understand. Someone hacked into the government website and posted a cryptic message. So, a cryptic message again difficult to understand. Dan Brown novels are all about the protagonist decrypting cryptic messages and solving a puzzle. So, protagonist, we've already seen this word, it means the central character, and decrypting means to decode. Cryptic, that is mysterious or difficult to understand or obscure messages or code. So, Dan Brown novels are all about the protagonist decrypting cryptic messages. Encrypt is a verb. It means to convert something into a code in order to conceal or hide something, some information generally. The company claims that the chats in its software are encrypted and no one can intercept them. Next sentence, the calls have been digitally encrypted to ensure that no one listens to your telephonic conversations. Next, we have the root demo. Again, another Greek root. And demo means people. So, any word that contains DEMO will very often have something to do with people. Let's look at some words. Democratic. So, democratic means related to rule by people. India is a democratic country. People in India value democratic values. Democide, which means killing of civilian population of a country. Then we have demotic. Now, the word demotic means it is basically a language used by the common people. And for example, what's your good name? Now, this is a demotic English phrase used by Indians. You don't find good name being used elsewhere. So, demotic means it is the colloquial language, spoken language as used by the common people. Next, we have demomania, and there are two roots here, demo and mania. Demo means referring to people, mania means a kind of madness. So, demomania refers to a desire verging on madness or a compulsion to be with people or in crowded places. So, a person suffering from demomania will want to always remain outdoors in crowded places. Demophile, again two words, demo and phile. Phile means love, demo means people. So, demophile would mean one who loves a crowded place or who loves people. Now, the difference between the two words, demomania and demophile, is demomania is verging on madness. It's a compulsion, it's a compulsive disorder. Demonym, it's a word and it's generally a noun that indicates people belonging to a particular country or a group. For example, we call all residents of India as Indians, or all residents of America as Americans, or some subgroups in New Zealand as Maoris. So these are demonyms. Epidemic, I'm sure all of you know this word by now. Epidemic refers to a contagious disease that affects many people at the same time. Then we have demography. So, demography refers to study of statistics belonging to people, birth, deaths, incomes, spending, diseases, occupations, etc. So, when you want to study statistics of people in a group, what is the birth rate, what is the death rate, what are the income patterns, what are the spending patterns, then it refers to demography, or such studies are referred to as demographic studies. Such studies are quite vital for a variety of policy decisions and even important for businesses. India's demography has changed in the last 2 decades. So, some of these traits must have changed. The company which carried out demographic study was mainly interested in income and spending pattern. Obviously, the company wants to market its products, and what is important for the company to know, what is the income level and how much people will be willing to spend. And that is why in the demographic study, the company was mainly interested in income and spending pattern. Then we have demagogue. Again, demagogue refers to somebody who misleads. So he's a leader of people who seeks support by appealing to desires and prejudices of common people. He's a rabble rouser or a troublemaker. So what does a demagogue do? He will arouse. For example, in India, demagogues might arouse a communal tension. So let's look at one sentence. Despite the pandemic, the demagogue's speech was full of communal overtone instead of a genuine concern for people. Obviously, he's a demagogue. He wants power at all costs. So his speech will be full of communal overtone. He will not talk of government action. He will not talk of concern for people. He will only talk about communal politics. Demagogues deliver fiery speeches and divide people. Another sentence from the word demagogue. Next, we have the word pandemonium. Again, the root word demo occurs here. It means noisy disorder or confusion caused by a mass of people or a group of people. Pandemonium. Like there could be a pandemonium on the street after an accident. There was pandemonium in the market because of the huge rush of buyers on the occasion of Diwali. Another sentence is there was total pandemonium in the Lok Sabha as the House was divided over the farm bill. The bomb hoax on the plane created a pandemonium on the plane, making it difficult for the staff to evacuate the plane quickly. Evacuate means to empty. So, to make people disembark the plane is evacuation. मतलब लोगों को प्लेन से उतारना. Then we have endemic. Endemic is a condition or a disease or a property found in a group of people in a certain area. Malaria is endemic to the tropics. You won't find malaria in extremely cold weather. So it is limited to the tropical zone. So people in a certain area, that is tropical zone is a particular area. And therefore we say malaria is endemic to the tropics. Materialism was endemic to the Western countries when globalization exported it to India. So Indians did not value materialism. In fact, Indian philosophy is full of spirituality. So materialism came to India only when the Western countries exported it through globalization. And therefore the sentence, materialism was endemic to Western countries when globalization exported it to India. With this, we come to an end of this session on word roots. More word roots to follow and more words to follow in the next session. Thank you.